Gun Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of great Millstone who teach and rule well, and Shalom to the sincere Akim, spreading truth and sincerity. Shalom. This video, I want to go into this article on RT.com, which is going into how this man received a pig heart in a breakthrough surgery. So it says patient gets animal heart in breakthrough surgery. The patient consented to the pig heart after being rejected for a human heart transplant. An American hospital patient in the state of Maryland is reportedly in stable condition just days after he received an experimental pig heart transplant as a last resort. We know that according to the scriptures that it's unlawful for us to eat pig, and it's an unclean thing to touch the carcass of the pig. So why would you, um, put a dead pig's heart, in a human body? Meanwhile, the scripture also talks about that, not all flesh is the same flesh. The beasts have their own flesh, man has their own flesh, the the birds have their own flesh, the fishes have their own flesh, the angels have their own bodies, you know. So it's a very unnatural thing to put a animal heart in the body of a person, And I was meditating about it, like, you know, we Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those that were scattered among the heathen nations that might look like the heathen nations, but his lineage does go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob according to their father's seed line. We have received the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. We're not supposed to deal with pig, concerning eating it, touching it, the dead body. And we're not supposed to put it in our body as a how you say that, as a transplant for a new heart. So what if this, it would be something that would be normalized, because in this article is also going into how there is a lack of um, human hearts that are able to be transplanted. There's how you say that, there's not enough hearts available, to meet the requirements for the people. So this is going to be something that could be normalized in the future. So what about Jake being in need for these heart transplants? Because the majority of our people, they have all these ailments in the body because they're not keeping the law. Because the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh are not done away with, which we're going to cover in this lesson as well. See? So, meanwhile, they're transgressing the law, statutes, commandments, which is going to be health to your body, and then they're gonna insert a pig heart into their body just to keep on living, further transgressing the law, statutes, commandments of the Heavenly Father. But this is also just a way for Esau to really show you, like, hey, they're trying to play, the Most High upon this earth. This is Second Thessalonians chapter 2, and starting at verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day should not come except the coming and falling away first, and the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So before the second coming of Yahawashi, we should not be deceived, by any means. Nothing should be able to deceive us from this truth. And before the second coming of Yahawashi, our nation is going to fall, meaning we would lose our heritage. We would lose the knowledge of who we was as a nation, and this happened as a whole around 70 AD, when the Southern Kingdom had to flee into Africa after the Roman persecution, and also before the second coming of Yahawashi, the man of sin shall be revealed, the son of perdition, which is Esau, Edom, a so-called white man upon the earth. He's contrary in all the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahawashi. He's opposite of it, which means if the Most High is righteousness, then the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, is unrighteousness. And that's also the way that they rule upon this earth, you see. And it's a fun thing because a while ago, I think maybe a year ago, I made a video about Esau Edom selling pigskin covered Bibles. I purchased one myself through the Spirit. You know, I I contacted the manufacturers, and they told me it was pigskin. So what did I have to do? I had to take my Bible and get the skin removed and be changed. You know, because these people have nothing to do, with the lost commandments of Yahawashi because they just toss it behind them. That's what they do. So this is Second Thessalonians 2:4. Who opposed it and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. You see, he opposes Yahawashi and puts him up somewhere that he doesn't even belong, because he's not all that. The so-called white people are the basest of all men. They're the lowest of the lowest. They were the ones that were making all these donkey type of noises, these animal type of sounds when they, was in their estate, in the Caucasus Mountains. They're the ones that are being referred to as the Neanderthal. You see, but what did he do upon this earth as well? They're behaving themselves in a certain way that they're, portraying themselves to be gods upon this earth. Because we also know that the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 39, talks about that it's the Most High that kills, makes alive, wounds, and heals. So it says, this is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See, now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Most High made the heaven and the earth. All these gods that these heathens worship are nothing but idols. They can't save themselves. But the Most High, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, is the one that, kills people and puts judgment forth upon this earth. He's also the one that makes people alive again. He wounds them, which this man in this article, he's sick. He needs this transplant, you know. But what does he do? He decides to go for a pig heart because that's going to be his shot in the dark, because he wants to live. But if you're an Israelite, what would you do? We know that we're not supposed to do this. You know, it would be better to die than to, you know, to consent to this pig heart. You know, it says neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Nobody's able to escape from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, but what do these, so-called white people do? They're playing gods upon this earth with the way that they try to come up with all these solutions for infirmities, for sicknesses. Really playing God. Trying to keep people alive in a certain fashion. You see, it's nonsense, man. This is Psalms chapter 15, verse 16. But unto the wicked the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, so that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? So we understand through the scriptures that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man upon the earth, is the wicked that the Bible speaks of, also being referred to as the devil and Satan. And the Most High says unto them, what do you, have to do with the scriptures? With the lost commandments that are contained in them? What do you have to do with my covenant? Why are you taking it in your mouth? Why are you proclaiming that you are, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of? Verse 17, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee, because they have the access to the scriptures. They know the truth. They know what they're actually supposed to do, but they oppose Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi because they hate the instructions. They don't want to be instructed nor reproved. So what do? We don't like it, we throw it away. That's what they do. You see, that's what they do, and that's the whole mindset of these people, man. That's the whole mindset of these people. They proclaim to be, so-called good Christians, Catholics, or whatever, even Muslims, man, because these Amalekites, they go back to Esau, you know. So they proclaim to be, the holier than thou. Meanwhile, to be holy means to be separated, to be set apart, which the Most High Basham Yahawashi, he gave us the law, statutes, commandments, to be set apart from these other nations. You see, and that's what makes us separated and holy. You know, that's the way that the Most High dealt with us. You see. Um, Let me grab it as well because I spoke about it. So why wouldn't I bring it out? This is Psalms chapter 149. It's like a 47 verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. You see, so the Most High give the words of the scriptures unto the children of Israel, the Israelites. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord Yahawah. You see, so the Most High is not dealing with these other nations, and they don't understand nor know the judgments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They don't know how the Most High is doing things upon His earth, man. You see, they don't know, but they will find out soon. Um, so going back to the article, um, it says this organ transplant demonstrated for the first time that a genetically modified animal heart can function like a human heart without immediate rejection of the body, said the University of Maryland School of Medicine, whose scientists performed the procedure. So this also just strengthens the point that they genetically modified. They played God. They played, to be a power upon His earth that they're able to do these things. Miracles. In the name of science, falsely, falsely so called. You know, because scientia, if I'm correct, goes back to knowledge. But correct me on that one if I'm incorrect. Um, says Bartley P. Griffith, who transplanted the pig heart into Bennett, claimed the breakthrough surgery brings mankind one step closer to solving the organ shortage crisis. You see, so there's a shortage, and they're trying to solve it with this unclean and unlawful way. It says there are simply not enough donor human hearts available to meet the long list of potential recipients, Griffith explained, adding that though the scientists were proceeding cautiously with the research, they are optimistic that this first-in-the-world surgery will provide an important new option for patients in the future. See, so they're really trying to get this thing normalized, by putting a pig skin, like a pig heart, into your body. And the funny thing is, this morning, I'm, I changed my jobs, from being a order picker to, you know, going to be a electrician, and I work for a company with a lot of Amalekites, a lot of Turkish people, which the Turks, are also Amalek, which is the chief house of the nation of Esau. You see, and a lot of these Turks, these Turkish people are Muslim. And this morning, one of the colleagues, he made a statement Like, did you read about the man that got his he got this pig heart transplant into him? I said, yeah, you can use it. He said, why not? Why not? I don't eat it. I don't eat it. I'm like, ah, but you're Muslim, right? So you're not supposed to eat pig and things like that. He said, yeah, not supposed to eat it. So it's like, okay, so you're saying basically that according to your book, you're allowed to put it in your body. That shows you more and more how much how much the Quran is a watered, very watered, soaked with all kind of things version of the Bible, man. Because the Bible explains you that you're not only allowed to not you're not allowed to eat it, you're not even allowed to touch its carcass. And I tried to do a little bit digging and searching for it, and I couldn't really find anything on concerning on what the Quran says concerning touching. But it does show you like, hey, these people, they're hypocrites, man. They proclaim to be holier than thou. Meanwhile they toss that, you know, they, they just toss it behind them as well. Seeing that the righteousness of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that supposed to be on this earth, that is taken from the scriptures and put in their basically in their book, you know, they don't keep it. You know, how much more would they not be in line, with the scriptures itself? If they're not able to, see that if you're not allowed to eat it, then how much more are you not to put it in your body, man? Because think about it. The saying that says you are what you eat. Think about it. Okay, so take it from this perspective. Your body is made up of all these elements, the minerals, etc. Your body is constantly renewing itself to the best of its ability by the things that you eat and ingest. So if the Most High says, or if their Quran says don't eat it because it has, you know, they know that it contains parasites and etc. Doesn't that heart become one with your body the same way that it becomes one with your body if you would ingest it? You see, so man, these these Amalekites, man, these Edomites. This is Leviticus chapter 11, verse 1. And the Lord Yahawah spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all beasts that are on the earth. So the Most High has made it, quite understandable for us what we're supposed to eat, what we're not supposed to eat, and to deal with, etc. So it says, whatsoever part of the hoof or and is cloven hooded, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. So that goes into goats. Goats have this type of this type of feet. Sheep as well. Sheep feet, cow feet. You can look it up for yourself if you want to. What else? But it says, verse 4, nevertheless, these shall ye not eat among of them that chew the cud, which goes into eating. It comes back up again, and then it's gonna be ingested again. Of them that divide the hoof as the camel, because he chewed the cud, but divided not the hoof, he is unclean to you. You see, so he doesn't divide the hoof. says, and the coney, because he chewed the cud but divided not the hoof, he is unclean to you. Which is, like a desert type of rabbit. Let me see. Is this the coney? So yeah, this one eats the cud, chew the cud, but he doesn't, you know, have the feet that we're being told that they should have. It says, and the hair, because he chewed the cud but divided not the hoof, he is unclean to you. Which is like a big bunny. Which a lot of people eat these animals, man. My grandpa used to breed these animals for food. You know, from my mother's side. You know, so he used to breed them for a year. He would, used to buy them cheap at the auction house, like cheap. Back in the days, and would just breed them and then sell them. Get big, get some big meats out of it, but it's unclean, man. They're cute though, but hey, we're not supposed to eat them. It says, and the swine, though he divided the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. So we're not supposed to eat the swine, even though he has the feet that he needs to have, he doesn't chew the cud. He's unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch, they are unclean to you. So we're not supposed to eat them, neither are we supposed to touch their dead body. You see? How much more are we not supposed to put them in our body, which is an unnatural thing anyway, seeing we have a different kind of flesh than these animals. This is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 8. And the swine, because divided the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean to you. You should not eat of their flesh, nor touch of their carcass. Same thing being mentioned also in Deuteronomy, because our people are stiff-necked, man. We need to be constantly reminded of these things. So it says religious restrictions on the consumption of pork. I read a little bit about it, but don't want to be going too much into it. But the thing that it says concerning Christianity is the following. Although Christianity is also an Abrahamic religion, which means it stems down on the basis of Abraham, which is what the Torah goes into, which these so-called Jews in the land of Israel um, proclaim, to be. They proclaim to be the people of the scriptures. Um, we are firm believers in the whole book, which is the Old and the New Testament. We believe in the Son of the Most High, whose name is Yahawashi. We believe that the last such commandments of Yahawashi are not done away with. We believe that we're not going to be saved through the law, but by the faith that we have in the beloved Son of the Most High, through faith. We also believe that by our faith, we show our works. We show our works by our faith. Therefore, we try to keep the last such commandments of Yahawashi to the best of our abilities. Meaning also that we're not dealing with pork in a way that we consume it, but touches that carcass. Of course, these things can happen by accident, um, but that's what we believe in. You know, it says most of its adherents do not follow these aspects of Mosaic law and are permitted to consume pork. So the majority of these Christian denominations, they teach that the last 10 commandments are done away with, which that's an utter incomplete lie, and that's what I want to be talking about. You know, this is Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I'm come to destroy the law or the prophets. I'm not come to destroy, but to fulfill. And this is Yahawashi speaking. Let me see if I can put the red letter on. Yes. So this is Yahawashi talking. He says that when he came, he wasn't going to do away with the law or with the things that prophets said. He didn't come to do away with those things, but he came to accomplish those things. He came to fulfill them. You see? For verily I say unto you, to heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law to all be fulfilled. You see, so even the smallest things from the law shall not be done away with. Verse 19, whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So if you're someone that is teaching that the simpler and the simpler laws that we are able to keep are done away with, and we teach others that as well, we don't keep them ourselves, in the kingdom, we're going to be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But when we, try to keep, the law, statutes, commandments to the best of abilities, even the simplest ones, trying to keep a beard on our face, don't eat pork, don't eat the blood, don't commit adultery, don't eat shrimp, crab, or lobster, etc. But we also teach other people to do such things as well. Those same people shall be called the great in the kingdom of heaven. You see, and this is concerning Yahawashi, that he came to fulfill. This is Luke chapter 24, verse 44. And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled which are written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and the Psalms concerning me. Because it's written throughout the scriptures that Yahawashi, is coming to fulfill the will of Yahawashi Yahawashi. But it was a reason that he was being referred to as the Word. This is John chapter 1, verse 14, because prior to Yahawashi coming in the flesh, we could read about him. He was written down. But at a certain moment, he also came on the scene in the flesh to fulfill those things which are written about him. But he himself also kept the law. And he said that he's not going to do away with the law or the prophets. He came to fulfill them as well. It says, John chapter 1, verse 14, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. You see, so it was written of him throughout the scriptures, and at a certain moment he came in the flesh, you know, and when he did what had to be fulfilled, up until a certain point, the Most High, took him up with a chariot, so could UFO. The Yahawashi is there waiting on the right hand side of the Most High, to be sent back for vengeance and to bring in, you know, the new world order under the Israelites, man. The kingdom that's going to be established under the rulership of the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You see? So going to the back to the point that these Christians say that the laws are done away with, and that they're permitted to consume pork, etc. This is Galatians 2 and 16. Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahawashi. Even we have believed in Yahawashi that we might be justified by the faith of Yahawashi, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. They say that through their belief, on the Messiah, who they call Jesus, which through the, I'm not going to even mention it, but through the belief in that name, their sins are not being taken away. There's only one name under heaven whereby we might be saved. That's through the Lord Yahawashi. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And another point is like they really believe that if the Messiah came to do away with came to die for the sins of the people, that they can just continue in their sin. And that's another scripture that didn't even So like it didn't even mention him, popped up in my mind, but that's what it says in Romans. This is Romans 61. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? So shall we keep on sinning, you know, because that through the Lord Yahawashi, we have that grace, that mercy, that forgiveness of sin? Shall we just continue in sin to because he takes it away? The Most High forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? You see? So we're supposed to, offend less and try to keep the last 30 commandments to the best of our ability, and improve ourselves day to day. This is Romans chapter 3, verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? The Most High forbid, yea, we establish the law. So, yeah, through faith, we understand that through faith, we have forgiveness of sin, and that we're going to be justified through faith. But shall we then, because we know that we know that what we have through faith, shall we then just make the law, non-effect? Shall we just do away with it? Shall it not have any power? Like, shall it be worthless? We still need to keep it. That's why it says the Most High forbid you establish the law. What does the word establish go into? Let me look it up. Histamai. It says to cause or make to stand, to put set up, to bid to stand by, to cause a person or thing to keep his or its place, which means it's not going to move. It's still going to be there. It still has to be kept. Oh shit, it says be kept intact. Damn. Be kept intact. To uphold or sustain the authority or force of anything. So the force is still there. The power of the law is still there. Only, it has no more dominion over us because of our faith in Yahawashi. This is James chapter 2, verse 18. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. So a man can say, I have faith, but if you have faith, if you believe, why don't you show it? Then I'll show you my faith by my works. Then we're going to show you that we believe these things that we talk about, that we read about, that we prophesy about, but also, keeping those things that we're teaching, that we read about in the scriptures, that we practice what we preach, that we show our faith by our works. Verse 19, thou believest that there's one power, thou doest well, the devils also believe and tremble. But what thou know, O vain man, faith without works is dead. So if you don't have works with your faith, it's dead, it's worthless, it's nothing. Verse 21, was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac up his son upon the altar? Because we know that the belief of Abraham was counted unto righteousness. This is Genesis chapter 15, and let me go straight to the point, verse 6. And he believed in the Lord Yahawah, and he counted it to him for righteousness, because the Most High promised unto our forefather Abraham, whose name later got changed into Abraham, that he would bear a son in his old age. You see, and that he would be the father of a great multitude, a very big uh, nation of people. You see, if it's Romans 4. Romans chapter 4, verse 19. And being not weak in faith, he considered not his own body now dead when he was about 100 years old, neither yet the deadness of Sarah's womb. So our forefather Abraham, he was very strong in the faith. He believed what the Most High told him. And he didn't consider, the way that his body was already, because our forefather Abraham was very old. He was 100 years old when he, you know, beget his first. It's like when he beget Isaac, you know, and also putting into consideration, that Sarah was about the same age. Meanwhile, she was supposed to be barren because of her age. Yet Abraham and Sarah, got Isaac. You see, verse 20, he staggered not at the promise of the Most High through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to the Most High. You see, so he wasn't wavering. He didn't doubt. He wasn't unbelieving in the things the Most High told him, but he was strong in faith. Magnifying the Most High through those things, and being fully persuaded that what he had promised, he was able also to perform. You see, so those things that the Most High promised Abraham, Abraham was like, the Most High is able to do that. I believe he can do that. Verse 22, and therefore it was imputed to him for righteousness. You see, um, back in James chapter 2, verse 22. Um, James chapter 2, verse 21. Was not Abraham a father justified by works when he offered Isaac his son upon the altar? So we know that the forefather Abraham, was what did it say? Salakia. Um, that his belief was imputed unto him for righteousness. You know, so his faith, is what justified our forefather Abraham. But it also says that our forefather Abraham had works. Verse 21 in James 2. Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works? You see, so our forefather Abraham, he had faith, you see, because not only did he believe the Most High concerning what he would able to do with him and promise him, he also, if you go to the book of Hebrews, so our forefather Abraham had faith that the Most High will be able to raise up Isaac as well. Um, This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that the Most High was able to raise him up even from the dead, from hence also he received him in a figure. You see? So the faith, together with the works that our forefather Abraham performed, that was um, what made it all perfect. So faith was made perfect by the works. You see, therefore, you know, we stand behind, the fact that um, we show our faith by our works. You see, and the faith really goes into confident or unquestioning belief in the truth, value or trustworthiness of a person, idea, or thing. See synonyms at belief or trust. You see, so going all the way back to the article, this man received an animal heart. And to be specific, he received a pig heart, which is unlawful, um, and the dead carcass is unclean to us. Um, but these people, these Edomites that proclaim to be Christians or that proclaim to be the Bible, um, the people of the Bible, um, they're really going against it, man. They're contrary to the ways of Yahawah Yahawashi. They know what's in it. They toss it behind them. They proclaim themselves to be, a power upon this earth. You see, and Yeah, the lost 10 commandments of the Heavenly Father not done away with, man. And we're supposed to keep them to the best of our ability. And if you come into this truth and you're new, you know, we're not forcing you to keep the laws like that. You know, what we're saying to you is, hey, if you come into this truth, take it step by step. You know, in Acts chapter 15, you can read about how the apostles came together to decide, you know, how they should, you know, deal with the Gentiles, you know, the Israelite foreigners that come back in the truth, you know, back to serving Bahasham, how they should deal with them according, you know, to the laws, you know, and what basically was being said is like, you know, try to keep the laws that are a little bit more easier to keep, you know, and grow from that. You grow into the truth. You see, because our forefathers were not able to do these things, you know, to keep the whole to keep the whole law, you know. So it's a matter of time, growing, growing the spirit, you know. But in the matter of this animal heart, man, hey, this is not a decision of growing, man. This is just a decision of denying it, you know. Just like, and it feels like a little bit I'm going all over the place. But if you go to Second Maccabees, it says that let me see what it says. It says a mother and her sons die for their faith. You know, it's going into how these correct these Romans, these Greeks, King Antiochus, these Greeks, you know, forced them to do certain things, but they stood firmly in the faith, you know, in their belief in Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, and therefore they didn't consent to them eating pig and these abominable things, man. So they were being martyred. It says a this is swine. Let me see. So it says Second Maccabees chapter 7 verse 1. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first said thus, Why wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die, rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. So they were firmly, you know, standing fast in the faith that they had, man, serving Yahweh Shem Yahawashi. Then the king, being enraged, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut off the tongues of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost part of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. See, so he was being tried and being tested, man, for his faith. You know, so if you're in a position that you need to have a heart transplant, man, you're gonna be tested and tried. Are you gonna take that pig heart, man, or are you gonna rely on Yahweh Shem Yahawashi, you know, do everything that you need, you know, to make sure that your body is getting better, you know, with herbs, fasting, you know. It says, verse 37, But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching the Most High that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou by torments and plagues mayest confess that he alone is the Most High, and that in me and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon our nation, may cease. See, so he basically said that. Let me start at verse 34. But thou, godless man, and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up the hands against the servants of the Most High. So one of the brothers is warning, these Edomites, man, not to, become proud and not do things without a reason. For thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of the Almighty Power, who seeth all things. Yeah, because these Edomites, they're doing all these things, man. But eventually they're going to receive the judgment, which is going to be happening soon. They're going to be put in chains. It says, for our brethren who now have suffered a short pain are dead under the Most High's covenants of everlasting life. But thou, through the judgment of the Most High, should receive punishment for that pride. You see, because we know that even though we're suffering these things, we as Israelites, we're going to be immortal. In the kingdom, everything's going to be beautiful, man. We're going to be in heaven. We're not going to be dying no more, man. But these Edomites are going to receive punishment for what they did, for their pride, man. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body in life for the laws of our fathers, you know, defending the law, standing firm for Bahasham Yahawashi, beseeching the Most High that He would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou by torments and plagues mayest confess that He alone is the Most High. You see, that's supposed to be, the mindset that our people are supposed to have, but we are destroyed as a nation, man, and a remnant is returning to Bahasham Yahawashi. So yeah, we heard Tazah. This lesson was edifying. Went a little bit more through the spirit. Covered a couple of things here and there. But heard Tazah was edifying. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and Shalom to the sincere Akyam, spreading truth and sincerity.